everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Nuzhat Sana and in this video I'll discuss today's top current and static general studies questions for UPSC Prelims Examination 2022 onwards. And these questions are framed keeping in view both the factual as well as analytical aspects of UPSC Prelims exam. Also, I would like to inform you that these questions are part of GK Today's UPSC Prelims Test Series, which is available in GK Today Android app. And the test series for 2022 Prelims Examination comprises total of 7500 questions, divided 2500 questions on current general studies and 5000 questions on static general studies. And the series has started from May 2021 and it will end with UPSC Prelims Examinations 2022. So if you wish to access all questions of GK Today UPSC Prelims Test Series, you may subscribe the test series in the app. So now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
So today this is our 19th lecture and now let's start. Question number 1. Once listed on the stock exchanges such as BSE or NSE, the NGOs would get alternative fundraising mechanism through which of the following instruments? So here it is asking, once NGOs are registered with the stock exchanges, then what are the alternatives through which they can raise fund? First of all, let's understand what is social stock exchange. It is actually a platform to enable the listing of non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations on the stock exchange such as BSE or NSE. Talking about stock exchange, as per SCRA, that is Securities Contract Registration Act of 1956, any body or individual, whether incorporated or not, if it has been constituted for the purpose of assisting, regulating or controlling the business of buying, selling or dealing in securities, then that body or individual is called stock exchange. Now there are basically two types of stock exchange. First is regional, whose area of operation is kind of specific in nature, and the second one is national, and it is permitted to have nationwide training. And talking about BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, it is one of the Asia's oldest stock exchange which became operational in the year 1875. Then there is NSE, means National Stock Exchange. It is the India's biggest stock exchange in terms of market capitalization and it began in the year 1992. Now coming back to social stock exchange, this would serve as an alternative fundraising mechanism for NGOs and non-profit organizations, and the funds can be raised through issuance of instruments, for example zero coupon, zero principal bond. Then there are mutual fund or social venture fund, etc. And such stock exchanges are already functioning in countries like Canada, UK and Brazil. Now let's come back to the options. Here first is preference shares. What are preference shares? See, there are two types of shares that a company can issue. Okay, first is equity share and second is preference share. What is the difference? Actually, when we talk about preference shares, these have preferential right to receive dividend at a fixed rate before any dividend or profit is paid to the equity shareholders. Okay, so they are kind of priority for the company. Also, when the company is in wind up condition, then preference shares have a right to return of the capital before the equity shareholders. Okay, but on the other hand, if we buy equity shares, or it can also be called as ordinary shares, then we are not automatically entitled to a dividend every year. It will be paid to you only if the company made a profit and declares a dividend. Okay, but this is not the case in preference shares. Fine. So this is not the kind of thing to raise fund. This is not right. Second is zero coupon bond. What is this? Actually, it is a type of bond that pays no interest at all while the investor holds. Or simply you can say that it is sold originally at a substantial discount from its eventual maturity value and paying the investor its full face value when it comes due, and the difference between what he paid initially and what he paid finally. This difference represents the interest he would have received over the year it was held. So yes, this is right. And third option is mutual funds. What is this? It is a type of fund that is created when large number of investors put in their money, and then it is managed by professionally identified, or you can say professionally qualified persons who have some experience in investing in different assets like shares, bonds, money market instruments, etc. So this is considered to be the best tool or the safest tool for wealth creation over the long term. Okay. So yes, this is also correct. And now right answer becomes only 2 and 3. First is not the correct answer. Okay. Now why we have taken this question? Why it was in news? Because the technical group on social stock exchange constituted by SEBI recommended the exclusion of political, religious, trade and corporate organizations from social stock exchange. Okay. Now question number 2. Which of the following are the mechanisms by RBI which help the state and central governments to address the mismatch between receipts and payments? So if any type of mismatch occurs between the receipts and payments of central and state government, then what can they do? First is ways and means advancements. What is this? It is actually a mechanism to help the state and central governments to address the mismatch between receipts and payments with the help of immediate cash from RBI. So they get immediate cash from the central bank to overcome this problem. Okay. Now, if the amount is returned within 90 days, then the interest applies at repo rate. What is repo rate? It is basically the rate at which RBI lends short-term money to the banks. Now, there are two types of ways and means advancements. First is special and second is normal. Now, what is the difference? See, in special WMA, government securities are treated as collateral and the interest rate is 1 percentage point less than the repo rate. But on the other hand, if the return of the amount under WMA exceeds 90 days, then it is treated as overdraft. Means in this, the interest applies at a rate that is 2 percentage points more than the repo rate. Now let's come back to the options. First is ways and means advancements. I have already told you everything regarding this. Yes, this is an option. Second is overdraft. I have told you that if the return of the amount exceeds the 90 days, then it would be treated as overdraft and the interest rate that would be charged on you is repo rate plus 2%. So this is also correct. And the third is reverse repo. Reverse repo rate is something different. It is actually the rate at which central bank of the country borrows money from commercial banks within the country. So this is just opposite to repo rate. So this gets eliminated and right answer becomes only 1 and 2. Now why we have taken this question? Why this was in news? Because recently RBI has decided to continue with the existing interim WMA scheme limit of 51,500 crore rupees for all the states and union territories up to September 2021 due to COVID-19 pandemic. Actually, cash flows of various states have been disturbed by the impact of COVID-19 and hence many states are in need of emergency financial resources to deal with the challenges. Hence, WMA can be alternative to raise long tenure funds from the markets. Okay. Now next question, which of the following are correct reasons of cloud burst? So two statements have been given and you have to identify what are the appropriate reasons for any cloud burst. First statement says, clouds saturated with rainwater are unable to produce rains. And second is, formation of large raindrops due to activity of warm air. C. Actually, cloudbursts occur when clouds saturated with rainwater are unable to produce rains due to upward flow of warm air currents carrying the raindrops upwards. So this results in formation of very large raindrops which eventually pour out as cloud burst. Okay, so this phenomena occurs in plains as well as in hilly areas mostly. But however, hilly areas favor the upward movement of warm air current more than the plain terrains. Also, the phenomena is counted only when it leads to large scale loss of life and property, and the probability of this happening is higher in the hilly states. Fine. Now, why it was in news? Because in the month of July this year only, cloud bursts have been reported from several areas in India, and the consequences of cloudburst are, for example, flash floods, then landslides, then third is mud flows, and last is land caving. Now, how cloudbursts are different from the rainfall? Actually, rain is condensed water falling from a cloud, while cloudburst is a sudden heavy rainstorm. Okay. Also, you can say that the rainwater with more than 100 millimeter per hour rate is categorized as cloudburst. Okay. Now, why it occurs? Actually, the rainwater and cloud cover is at the maximum level with low temperature and slow winds, because of which a high amount of clouds may get condensed at a very high rapid rate, and finally it gets resulted into a cloudburst. Fine. So here both the options are right, and correct answer becomes both 1 and 2. Now next question, which of the following is our flamingo sanctuaries in India? First is Puducherry Bird Sanctuary. It is a brackish water habitat for flamingos in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, and a part of sanctuary spans into Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is right. Second is Khijadia Bird Sanctuary. This is located in Jamnagar in Gujarat, and the sanctuary has freshwater, saltwater and marshland ecosystems. So this is also correct. Third is Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary. It is also located in Gujarat. An important thing is it is also a Ramsar site. What is Ramsar site? Actually, it is a wetland area designated to be of international importance under Ramsar Convention, and it provides the protection for national action and international cooperation for conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources. Now, what is Ramsar Convention? It is a kind of international agreement that promotes the conservation and wise use of wetlands. Fine. So here all are flamingo sanctuaries. Correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. Also, bird sanctuary was in news because Mumbai metropolitan region is likely to get its first Ramsar site at Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary. Okay. Now last question, with reference to the government in Puducherry, consider the following statements. So regarding the Union Territory Puducherry, 2 statements have been given and we have to identify which of the following are correct. First statement says Puducherry is one of the only 2 union territories in India which have elected legislative assembly. Actually, the problem is Puducherry is one of the 3 union territories in India that have elected legislative assembly. And which are these? First is Puducherry itself, which got its assembly in the year 1963. Then second is Delhi in the year 1992. And third is Jammu Kashmir in the year 2019. So due to the word 2 that has been written here, it is wrong. And the second statement says the Chief Minister of Puducherry is appointed by Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. Actually, the Chief Minister of Puducherry is appointed by President and not Lieutenant Governor. And the other ministers are also appointed by President on advice of Chief Minister. And talking about the Lieutenant Governor, he or she is appointed by, again, President. Fine. So Puducherry got its legislative assembly with the 14th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1962. And the Puducherry Legislative Assembly represents 4 districts. First is Puducherry, second is Karaikal, third is Mahe, and fourth is Yanam. Okay. Now why Puducherry is important? Because recently President's rule was imposed there in the month of February 2021 on recommendation of Lieutenant Governor. Also important thing is Article 239 to 242 of the Indian Constitution under Part 8 deals with administration of Union territories. And the President's rule comes under Article 356. So none of the options are correct. So right answer becomes neither nor. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. If you want to give any review, feedback or suggestion regarding these lectures, you can definitely tell us in the comment section and definitely we will try to implement that. So now we'll meet again tomorrow with 5 more new and interesting questions. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nusrat Sana signing off.